As the world turns, the Earth in the Milky Way galaxy on the Orion Spur, no longer the Sagittarius arm. Well, wasn't thinking I was going to be making another Mandela affected video, but the Mandela affected here, he really inspired me today. Something happened to me, and as anyone who is Mandela affected realizes, synchronicity rolls deep when you're Mandela affected. I mean, synchronicity is like unreal. The amount of times I can see things connecting together in this new higher vibration. But a similar circumstance just happened to me last week, and I was talking to my roommate. Now, my roommate doesn't believe any of this Mandela thing. He thinks I'm totally crazy. He's from the Orion Spur. He's from this earth. And he thinks I'm like totally nuts, so bonkers. But so I don't talk to him about stuff. And if you see in one of my other videos on my channel, he came in while I was doing a Mandela effect video, and I had to turn it off and restart it. So I was mentioning through this last week about one of my favorite actors who had died and a couple years ago, and he was like, "Oh no, they're alive. That's a hoax. That's a myth." It was one of those internet hoax. I just really hate when they do those internet hoax because they really hurt my feelings, and I don't know who thinks it's really funny to pretend people are dead. And I was like, "Oh, okay, internet hoax," and I just laughed it off for there. I didn't want to tell him that I remember seeing Entertainment Tonight of this actor being on their dead. I remember seeing the Wake Memorial and other actors that worked with this actor talking about his work with them. So it was like weird. So my mom comes over to my job today, and I was telling her about this actor. She's like, "Oh yeah, he died a couple years ago." I was like, "No, he's alive now." And she had a total flip out. Even though she knows about the Mandela effect, she couldn't believe it because she remembers watching the whole Wake series and everything like that. Now, what's the actor I'm talking about? Well, I am talking about John Rhys-Davies. Now, something with his last name seems weird but that's one of the things I'm not really good at is the spelling of things, and so I can't really key off that. In the Mandela effect, I really key off of geographic changes in the body, and where our placement in the universe is. Like we used to be on the Sagittarius arm, now we're on the Orion Spur, which is closer to the galactic hub. So my mom had a freak out. She was like, "No, I remember him dying, da da da." I was like, "Yeah, I remember watching the whole Wake thing. I remember watching all the Indiana Jones movies and the Lord of the Rings movies in tribute, and of course watching 3 or 4 seasons of Slider." Another little piece of synchronicity. Really funny that he's in a show about slide into parallel Earths using a miniature wormhole. That's a really big coincidence there, right? But I remember watching all those because he's like one of the actors I grew up with in a lot of fantasy and science fiction. Love his acting. So it hurt my feelings that he had died, and we went through our mourning, me and my mother, because I remember talking to her about it. So John Rhys-Davies is now alive, and I thought this was a really super positive thing, and that we're in a higher vibration world, and he was dead on our world, on this world is alive. But there's been some controversy in the last 2 years or so. Now remember, he died in our reality around the end of 2012, 2013. The last 2 years, he's been saying some crazy, very un-PC things. He doesn't like being PC. He's lost a lot of friends, he said, from being super belligerent and saying stuff on Larry King about Muslims and all that kind of crazy stuff. So maybe this also lends to the Mandela effect, that this is not our John Rhys-Davies, because I don't remember hearing anything political from him ever. He always kept it on just kept professional and did his job. So that could be also a Mandela effect, because it's in the last 2-3 years when he's supposedly, in my reality dead. Because I was watching the MTV special, the Elfstones of Shannara, or the story of Shannara, and he plays the Elven King, John Rhys-Davies. I was like, oh right, because I really thought his last movie was Lord of the Rings, and that's why they decided to do the Hobbit instead of going on with the story, because they couldn't do any filming because he had died as Gimli the dwarf, So of course that could be wrong, that piece of information, but I know I remember seeing a whole Entertainment Tonight. I remember seeing his actors talk about the tattoo they got in Lord of the Rings and how they'll miss him, and he's alive and well. So I just wanted to share that Mandela effect because the Mandela affected, he really inspired me there. The synchronicity about his actor thespian and my actor Desbian is really weird how it synchronizes up. Also want to do a shout out to Moneybags 73 and Life Matrix. You guys have been making some great videos and spreading a lot of awesome knowledge. And then I just want to talk about, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but is anyone else think Japan is totally just keeps moving closer and closer to Korea? Does it seem kind of weird to anyone else? Or is it just me? Because I remember Japan being like over here somewhere, like way over here somewhere. Not this close where it's almost melding with China and it's on the continental shelf over there. That's crazy. It wouldn't be affected the earthquakes right there like on this continental shelf. So I don't understand why Japan and all these new islands in the Papua New Guinea area and Malaysia and Myanmar, these are all closer together and different placement to me. So I just wanted to point that out on the Geographic and point out that John Rhys-Davies, anyone thought he was passed away, he is still alive. So if anyone from my reality, the Sagittarius Arm, knew that John Rhys-Davies is dead, well, he's not. He's alive and well and really politically incorrect and saying some crazy stuff. But that's awesome. And I just wanted to say this is another video from Shazam the Magic Man. If you like the music in this video that I'm about to play, it's all original music from my live DJ percussion experience called Zenith Omega Effect. You can check that out on Shazam777.com. Or if you like this video, just go to my page and subscribe to Shazam the Magic Man. We will get this all sorted out. We're just 80,000 light years from where we were. Everyone don't fear, because fear is the mind killer.